should have posted this video a couple weeks ago, but I've been kind of busy and haven't really been on the ball with that. So I made a Christmas present for my significant other. Didn't have a whole lot of extra cash, but I had a bunch of supplies around the small farm to make her a cross. And I figured she'd like this a lot. So I started out with a treated 4x4 piece of lumber that I got a 10-foot section here, but realized that it really wasn't what I wanted and what I had pictured and what I really drew up. And I was kind of making a center point for where the crossbeam would be for the cross. Once I saw how high this cross was really going to be, I had to change my plans. And the off-fall was way too small to be a proper cross. So I went ahead and got another 4x4 on my small farm to fix this problem. So I measured out, I believe it was 4 feet plus another 4 inches for the 4x4. So it would be even on both sides. Once I got other measurements right, I went ahead to make sure that I had it marked, and then I went ahead and cut it. Then I went down about, I think it was 16 inches from the top. So I'm showing the camera which side is it best, which is the side it's going to be facing out, not in. So when people view the cross, it won't be an ugly side out. I went ahead and marked the 2 sides and showed you right here, which would be the inside. And I'm only going to be cutting down about halfway through the crossbeam for the 4x4. Now that I've finished cutting the slots, what that's going to do is I can chisel them out. I didn't have a proper machine to notch that out, so I'm going to go ahead and cut a bunch of small slots for it to be easy to knock out with a chisel. I only went halfway in, and they're a little bit uneven, so now that's going to cause a problem. You can see they're very flimsy, so it will be easy to knock out. So now I got my soft face hammer, and I'm going to use them on my chisels, and you'll just see these things come out extremely easy. They just fall right out. Here's a better angle of what it looks like when I'm hammering them out. a smaller chisel to go ahead and get in the very tight corners, and that's still on very uneven surface. So I go ahead and get a bigger, flatter one for the depth cut, and go ahead and flatten it out. Once I got the edges I went ahead and looked at it. It wasn't that great of a fit. It wasn't flat at the depth cut. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten that down again and chisel that, trying to make it a flatter surface. Now that I got the crossbeam pretty much on a push down sort of feel, I go ahead and put it over the marked location, tried making it as precise as I could. Then I went ahead and used the right side of the mallet and just started smacking it down into position. Have it. Now it's pressed together. Now here's a close-up. You can see how both sides are pretty much flush. The depth cut could be a little bit closer to the long part of the cross, but I guess this will do for now. So then I made a triple measurement to make sure that it was correct and everything was right. But the more I looked at it, the more I couldn't figure out what was going on. What I was thinking it was missing. Then I thought of it, it's missing a crown of thorns. I went out to the scary part of my woods to find a bunch of these branches that look like a crown of thorns that Jesus had worn on his head the day he was crucified. So I went ahead and chopped one down. Have it, our branch of thorns. Now we just got to convert it into the crown. So back at the workbench, I went ahead and looked at it, and there was a few things that I actually really didn't like about it, but it was kind of too late to turn back now. So some of the off branches you could see off of the main shaft were kind of not ideal for what I was trying to do, so I had to cut them off, and I had to do a bunch of various other things you'll see me do. One of the first things I did was obviously lay down the workbench, and I went right to work on some of the off branches to get rid of them, and we use them on more bald spots of the main shaft. And then after numerous attempts and getting poked a lot, I went ahead and cut that edge off, and then I saw what I want to do. I started making that round part of the crown, and then I showed you my process. I slowly made sure I didn't stab my hands, and I just kept going, and then I started zip tying them. I tried a piece of wire up at the top, you could see there, but that took way too long. It was too difficult, and I wound up not liking it at all. So I used extremely small black zip ties to hold it in place for the time being. Then I had to dress it and make sure that everything was just right. So I had a really long branch I didn't like at the very end. It was too hard to turn. I actually just poked myself there. So I went ahead and grabbed more small zip ties and took an extra branch that I cut off and wrapped it around the bare spot, like I had stated before. Once everything was in place and ready to go, I clipped off some of the ends of the zip ties, so it was kind of hard to notice, and then bam, it was ready to go. I went ahead and put it up on top of the cross for the final touch. I just kind of pinched it right now, and then I saw that it looked pretty cool. So I didn't show it in this video, but I went ahead and stapled it to the top of the cross after I got done staining it. The type of stain that I used was Pally Shades. It's a honey color, and it's waterproof as well, so I went ahead and stained it all one singular color and made it more weatherproof so it could stay outside in case you wanted it outside. And the finished product kind of looked something like this. They are still slightly off, but it's not as severe as it once was. And I suppose I could have probably made this main shaft of that cross darker if I kept staining it, but for what it was, I think she will appreciate it. And there you have it. One singular stained, finished, hammered, and ready to go outside for her to view it. And this is how I made it across.